Welcome everyone. We are live for Thursday's live stream Hatha Yoga class. So we will begin with a standing warm-up. Just standing up helps with increasing our heart rate and circulation. So getting a little bit colder and days are getting a little shorter, so we want to activate a little bit more. And we'll go ahead and double check that the feet are nice and even and parallel, and we can work on spreading the toes. Now, if your toes are really tight and they don't spread very well, don't worry about it, but do think about opening up the toes. Imagine that. And on your own, you can work on using your hands to manually open them or putting things like cotton balls or crayons between the toes on your own time as a little yoga extra credit, perhaps. All right, so we've got established feet. We're rooted and grounded, either spreading or imagining spreading the toes, lengthening through the legs and the spine lengthens down as well as up. So there's a little bit of a dropping of the tailbone. You integrate the lower abdomen to support that lower part of the spine. You want to feel open across your chest. The shoulders are relaxed down. The arms just hang down. You lengthen through the neck without stiffening up in the throat. And take some deep breath. Deep, complete breath in standing. Take time to exhale nice and slow. And lifting the arms halfway. Continue breathing deep. Keep the hips really square as you turn side to side. And when you're done with both sides, let's go ahead and roll the shoulders. Deep breath. Both directions. And rolling the wrists. Getting all those little crunchies out of the wrist. Do both directions. Rolling out the hips. Do about 3 or 4 each way. And then having the feet together, we'll switch to doing the knees. And do both directions. Very good. Lift the arms. Weave the fingers together and push up to the palms. Draw into the abs. Tuck the glutes just a little bit. And then bend and extend the arms. Switch, which is the leading finger. So reweave, push up, and then stretch once to one side. Hips work away. Abs stays in. Chest is open. Switch sides. Stretch, press, and breathe. Keep the core in. Come back to center, press up through the arms, but set the shoulders down just a bit, and then let it all relax. You may want to hold something for this next bit. We'll roll out the ankle as our last body roll. So holding the knee, roll out the ankle. Still breathing deep, creating flow. Do the other direction, creating flow in the breath and the body. Nice and smooth ankle rolls. Both legs. Both legs, both directions. Do both directions. Very, very smooth. Excellent. And we'll go ahead and give the body a little pat down. We're going to do all angles of the arm, the inner and outer arm. Then rub the wrist. Rub the elbow. Rub the shoulder. Pat down the other arm, inner and outer, and then rubbing the wrist, rubbing the elbow, rubbing the shoulder, then patting down the torso, and the hips and the legs, and the outer legs, inner legs, backs of the legs, and the glutes, and the low back, and swinging the arms, getting into the mid-back, and then patting the trapezius and shoulder area. Both sides. Very good. Now let's rub the hands together. This helps if you have cold hands. It's part of a classic Hatha Yoga warm-up, rubbing the hands together. Try the tops of the hands, both sides. Come back to the normal practice, rubbing the hands together, nice and briskly. The hands feel nice and warm. And then shake out the hands a bit. Very good. We'll do some half sun salutes. So go ahead and make sure the feet are parallel. They can be a little wider if you have tighter back muscles or hamstrings. Lift the arms and touch down. Keep the back as flat as you can. And then bend the knees if it's not already flat to flatten. Stand up straight with that flat back. And repeat half sun salutations, the knees bending. Really helpful for the back to have good form. It's helpful if you just have tender back irregardless. And come on up. Weave the fingers one more time and press to one side and then the other. Switch your grip, weave the fingers one more time, press to that other side. Second side. Come back to center and swan dive over the legs. Walk back to downward dog, also called mountain pose, because you want to lift the hips high, lift the tailbone like the peak, very steep mountain. Deep breath. And knees on the ground. Let's go ahead and roll out the back. And then come back to dog stretch. And knees on the ground. Let's take the right foot up for a runner's stretch. Right foot up. Work on lifting the chest. And turn the left hand to the left. Take the right hand on the right knee. Twist. The right knee should be stacked above your heel. Definitely not beyond the ankle. And come on down. Now it's warrior one. Rise on up, holding the thigh and squaring the hips. Arms up. And then taking a half bow. Lifting. Then do 2/3 of a bow, touching near the heel. Draw into the core and lift. And then a full bow, or any of the variations we've done so far. Draw into the core, lift, and then sit low into the warrior one. Back leg strong. Exhale. Downward dog. Deep breath. Get grounded here. Really feel great connection and pressure into the hands. Lift the hips, length of the spine. Quality breath. And knees down. Let's help the left foot come on up. Left foot comes up, have the knee and the ankle in line. Work on lifting the chest. Take your right hand, rotate it to the right. Consider using the thumbs, fingertips, or even a fist. Get a little more height in the spine and chest so you can open more easily as you twist to the left, putting some pressure down on the thigh. But don't let the knee go in. Keep it straight forward or opening slightly. And come on down. And go ahead and take warrior one. Ground down into it. Square the hips, sit nice and low. Arms lift. Take your half bow. And then come on up. And then take a full bow, touching the ground. Inhale up. And then all the way. Then lift and sit nice and low into it. Deep breath. Exhale. Downward dog. Head down. Hips high. And knees down. Child's pose. Take rest. And just relax. Be in a full state of surrender where you just let go and enjoy deep breathing, stretching the spine and rib cage with each deep inhale. Letting go more and more with each exhale. And let's go ahead and come back to a nice downward dog. And then very, very lightly, consider propping up onto the fingertips. Right foot steps up. Take a crescent lunge. Right foot up. And sit nice and low into it. Arms up, back leg strong. And you get the hips low. And then take a half bow. And come on up. 2/3 bow. Come on up. And then either the same variations or a full bow. Use the core. Inhale to rise. And then sit low and really integrate the back leg. Breathe deep. And exhale. Downward dog. Left side, light step. Left foot up. Come on up to crescent. Sit low. Back leg very strong. Arms up. And take a half bow. Inhale, lift. 2/3 bow. Inhale, lift. Full bow. Inhale, rise up. Back leg strong. Integrate and get low into it to stretch and strengthen the fullest. And exhale when ready. Downward dog. And again, knees down, fold the arms, take a nice little child's pose. Breathe and rest. Slow down the exhale. Have the inhale very, very full. And we'll all meet back in the nice down dog pose. Hips high. Deep breath. Walk or lightly hop up. Feet to hands. Take a half lift and then a full fold. Straight back lift. Maybe bend the knees, rise on up. Bring the arms up and then bend the arms to stretch the triceps a bit. Knit the core. Re-extend the arms. Exhale, arms relax. Double check that the feet are parallel and take a little bit of a chair or a medium one, or if it feels good, go very low into the chair. Use the core, weight in the heels, abs in. There's some weight forward too, but there's a balance of weight forward and back, so you're working the front and back of the thighs and integrating the core, front and back, breathing. And exhale, downward dog. Hips high. And knees on the ground. Go ahead and turn to the side and walk or lightly hop the feet apart. Come up onto the fingertips. Work on having a flat back. And bend the right knee. Stretch and take a breath or two. And come on back to center. Bend the other leg. Stretch and breathe. Come on back to center. Draw into the core. Let's go ahead and stand on up. Opening up the right foot. Turning the back foot up a bit. Let's take warrior two. Keep the knee open, the glutes down, the arms up. Two more breaths. Good. Let's relax the arms and legs. Double check that the feet adjust necessarily. The back foot turns in now. The front foot fully opens. Let's take that warrior two. Keep the knee open. Level out the hips. Hold and breathe. Let's take another very deep breath. And then let everything relax. And hinge down. Bend the right knee. And then the left. Come back to center. And draw into the core. Let's rise on up. Open the right foot. Extend the arms and the rib cage. Take triangle pose. You can reach partway down. Eventually, if you can keep the chest open, you can reach more fully. Breathe. Be steady. Good. Let's go ahead and rise on up. And turn the back foot open. And really open that left foot. And extend the arms. Feel the ribs lengthening. You lengthen out through the ribs so you don't just squish into it. You extend and take the form according to your alignment. Deep breath. That's part of your alignment. If you can't breathe deep, you're not in alignment. You need to align from the inside to the out and be steady. One more breath. And draw into the core and come on up. And then switching to opening up the right foot. Open the foot all the way. Turn the back foot up. Take warrior two. And then arms relax. Lift the arms. Take extended warrior. Sit low into the legs. Keep the right knee opening. And then arms relax all the way. And lift the arms. And now level the arms back to traditional form. We'll hold a little bit more here. Keep the knee open, the back leg strong, the hips level, arms level, or modifying with a little bit of a rest for the shoulders, only if you need to, not because you're bored. We modify out of necessity. If you're bored with the traditional form, it's a good thing. You need to be comfortable with boredom, and that will be an asset to becoming more creative and less likely to binge out on your devices by being comfortable with boredom. Right? The breath is never boring. The breath is always a new experience. Let's do one more round. Very deep quality breath. Good. And relax the arms and legs. Turn the back foot up a bit. Open up that left foot. And take warrior two, left side. Arms relax. And then lift, draw into the abdominals. Extended warrior. Hold for just a bit. And then arms out and down. Lift. And arms level and hold. Double check all the form. It's nice to be able to see the first true toes. Arms are nice and level. The abs support the back. You're not tense here, but you're not loose either. You're drawing in just a bit using the inner muscles to support the lower back, the transverse abdominals. One more really long breath, very smooth. Keep the mind steady and focused. Good. Let's relax everything and set up for another variation of triangle. You open that right foot all the way. Two opens better than not open enough. Back foot up a bit, the left arm behind the back, and reach down. Just hold part way, or holding the ankle and opening up in the chest. Spreading the toes. And drawing into the core and coming on up and turning the back foot in, opening that left foot, arm behind the back. You can use the hand to help it around. Eventually you're able to hold the inner opposite thigh. The chest may tend to lean forward, but try and open back, open the chest, open the abdomen, and keep the navel in. The bottom shoulder tends to stick in and kind of bunch up. Try and lengthen it, open it out. Likewise with the front knee, open it out to stretch the hip. Two more breaths. Very good. Let's come on up and hinge down again. Bring the hands forward. Try a dog stretch position with the arms as the legs are in a straddle. Keep the hips back. And bring the hands back. Knees bend. Stand on up. And slowly walk the feet closer together. until you can lightly transition to the top of the mat. Double check that the feet are parallel. And again, we'll do chair. A little bit of one, maybe a medium, and if it feels good, go deep into the chair. And then hands down, downward dog. Now we're going to work on the jumping from down dog. So work on looking up and consider hooking the thumbs, and then make it easier on the wrists and low back, and then hop feet toward the hands. Doesn't have to be all the way up. You come most of the way, and then come into a half lift for the core and a full fold. And the hands flow forward. Jump back or walk back, dog pose. Let's do that again. So you want to look up and draw in the abdomen. So you want to use the abs and your back. A little extra height with the hands. Just jump toward the wrist, not to the fingertips. So you can land nice and light. Come into a half lift and then a fold. Very good. Jump back. Downward dog. And then lift, tone, back muscles. Engage the pelvic floor. Lift the navel a bit. That really helps. Jump up. Half lift, full fold, chair pose, and standing pose. Next is tree pose. So open the right foot. You can just do the first variation, the leprechaun, right? You do foot on the calf or bring the foot high up into the thigh and dig the heel in, open the knee out and the hip. Option to lift the arms. Very steady gaze. Shooting star, building that nice lateral core and relaxing. And doing the other side, opening the knee and the foot, toes stay down. Remember, this is the leprechaun. This is the easy variation. You can do a little higher, and eventually you can do all the way up into the crease of the thigh. Anywhere except for pushing on the knee, really. And if your leg is slipping, push the heel in. That will massage the muscle as well. Then lift the arms or have hands holding the wall. Deep breath. Shooting star, building that lateral core. And release. One more time, chair pose, any level that you like. Downward dog, walk or jump back. And let's do 3 more jump ups. If you don't like the jumps, then take a rest now, either hold dog or do child. Otherwise, look up. Consider using a little extra height. Jump lightly, lengthen and then fold. Walk back. Let's do that 2 more times. You want to get your back and your abdomen as part of the landing gear to control that nice light flow. Jump up, fold down, walk back. 1 more time. Look up, light jump, half lift, full fold, back and get grounded in downward dog. Lift the hips. Breathe deep. And knees down. Let's go ahead and lower face down. Reach back to the feet. Inhale, easy cobra. Exhale, lower. Again, inhale, easy cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, easy cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, easy cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, easy cobra. Lift the hands a bit. Hold. Ground through the feet and the pinky toenails. And release. Use the core and lift. Come to neutral. And then take a nice long plank pose. Very strong legs. Lift out of the shoulder joints, part the shoulder blades. Dog stretch. And back to plank. Hover. And inhale. Lift legs and chest. Basic locust. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Lift legs and chest. Arms back. Locust. Holding. Really opening up in the shoulders. And then lower. And next is the Sphinx Pose. We're going to hang out here for a minute or so. So really get comfortable into it. Have the elbows under the shoulders or a little more forward, a little wider will be good if you feel tight in your chest or back or neck. And just take some time to breathe. And come on down. Use the core to lift. Dog stretch. Inhale, plank. Exhale, hover. Inhale, cobra, using the arms a little bit, opening the shoulders back. See how that feels? Take deep breath. And then come on down. And now we're going to do Cobra Roll. So you let the head hang, you tuck the chin, come up. And then when you open up the chest, you lift the head at the end and lead with the sternum coming down. Relax the head at the end. Tuck the chin, lift the head last. Repeat these rolls. If you need to do easy Cobra repetitions like we've already done, do that. If you need your hands much wider, try that. Otherwise, we'll do some repetition that will warm up the spine, help us to build a little bit of strength and endurance in the arms, all the while working with the breath. And let's go ahead and release. And now take the thigh stretch. You take the left arm under head, take half frog, working the heel to the side of the hip, but pressing the front of the hips down to deepen the stretch. And breathe deep into the stretch. And release and take the other side. Deep breath, deep stretch. Very good. Let's go ahead and release from that. And take the hands a little higher, wider than the shoulders. Now we're going to do a sustained cobra. So if you don't feel good doing this, try Sphinx instead. Otherwise, sustain the cobra. Keep the elbows micro bent. Work the shoulders open, open in the chest. Breathe deep into that space. Come down anytime, but otherwise we'll do a solid long hold with quality breath. And take a nice release. Use the core, slowly lift. And take an easy transition back to downward dog. Hips high. A very light step up. Runners, take 2 steps if you need. Right foot steps up. And then lift. And if it feels good, bring the arms back. You just do neutral lift or bring the arms back and open into a slight back bend, mostly stretching the chest and keeping the hips level. Breathing all the while. And come on down. And take a down dog position. And we'll do that left side. Nice light step up. The light step really develops your core. Left foot steps up. And then lift, take neutral, or if it feels good, express back, opening up in the chest. The hips may tend to want to push to the side to keep them squaring. That will help you to keep the back healthier. You'll isolate deeper into those hip flexor muscles. And exhale, downward dog. Right knee forward, swan. And work on having the hips low and lift the chest. If your knee hurts, try moving it to the center with the ankle centered, or do a cradle on the back, or you can do a lunge forward bend. We do the swan forward bend and release the back foot. Take time to soften and breathe. And bring the hands back into place. Come on up to swan. Take downward dog pose. Left side swan. Working gradually but deeply into it. And when you're ready, lay down into the forward bend. Release the back foot. Rest the head. Relax the shoulders. And enjoy. And come on up. Exhale. Downward dog, and either stay here or work through one round of up dog or cobra as a little flow, taking time to open the chest and integrating the core back to downward dog. Let's do again, right side swan. Now move the back knee to the middle a little bit, move the front arm to the midline, and take swan thigh stretch. If the thigh stretch doesn't suit you in swan, you can do it face down like we've done already. Or you can just do another swan bow. That's a nice way to ignore the rest of the world and focus on your beautiful inner journey. A little bit more time here. Either way, modifying or holding the pose, you're practicing with the breath, committed to that mindful practice. Very good. Let's release that thigh stretch. Take one roll where you bow down and tuck the chin. Come on up. Exhale, downward dog. Left side. Swan pose. Move the back knee a little to the middle. Not too much, but a little to the inside. When you do the thigh stretch, the knee tends to move way over. So moving it to the middle helps to just create a nice counterbalance of having good form. And you work on squaring the hips, deepening the stretch, but most importantly, deepening the breath and getting a little slower in the mind. Release that nice stretch. Let's glide back to downward dog and wag the hips a bit. See how that feels. Smooth it out. Breathe. And knees down. Let's switch to setting up for a VC. So you bring the legs out from underneath and adjust. Lift the knees high, point the toes and extend. You can hold the ground, the legs or arms out. And then come down, hold the shins. Renew the length of the spine. So you're doing the V with the rounded back. You're going to roll back, or be more likely to. If you can have a straight back, then the back of your core will get stronger. The front of your core will be stronger. Your balance will be better. Let's try the V again. It's totally fine to have the knees bent. Otherwise, the arms are out. The legs are active. Lifting the knees and the chest. Keep high in the pose. Then transition to the low pose, where you're just staring at the toes, hovering barely off the ground. And then rest. Yeah. Legs bend, feet are parallel. Inhale to bridge. Come on up to bridge. Hold the glutes and expand the chest. And come on down. Neutral and breathe. And then knees come in a little bit and rock on up. Draw your hips back. Have the feet a little bit wide, parallel. Bring the hands a pretty good distance back. And take a tabletop. You lift, nice and smooth. Tabletop, don't stop. Come on down, hips back. One more time, take the V. And then transition to Dandasana. Flex the feet, lower the legs as you lift the arms and try and come into form in unison.
And then take your nice forward bend. Reaching forward through the chest, hips back, deep breath. And release the forward. Let's transition to sitting cross-legged. We can actually prep by rolling out the thigh. So roll out the right thigh, keep sitting tall. Roll out the left thigh. And then cross-legged. Let's take a little bit of time for peace and quiet. Hips back, maybe sit on a towel. Relax your arms, sit tall, and just close the eyes. And come back to the body. Let's go ahead and take a reclined position again. Roll back and down, knees to chest. Deep breath. And feet to the ground. Bring the heels in. We're going to do a second round of bridge. Now, if your back doesn't want to do any more back bends, do some hip openers like butterfly or cradle. Otherwise, double check that the feet are even, parallel, lift to bridge, and hold that. Come on down. Now take the feet wide and bend the knees in. And now bring the feet together and open the knees out. Butterfly stretch. Range your arms any way you like. Take time to really breathe. Knees lift. Let's switch to knees to chest. And then either take a wide knees to chest or a nice happy baby. Upside down squat. Widen the knees, lengthen the back of the neck. Breathe, always with the breath. And feet down. Elongate the arms open, and you shift up onto the left hip and have the left hand to the right thigh. Keep the right shoulder grounded and stretch. And let's go ahead and do the other side. And when you feel nice and even on both sides, let's take Shavasana to just relax. Close the eyes and treat this as a time of reclined meditation, letting go, breathing softly, and taking time just to be. Let's go ahead and deepen the breath. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Gradually come back to the take knees to chest. And then a closing seat. You breathe deep. Do a clearing breath in 3 ohms. Inhale through the nose when you're ready. Let it out with the exhale. And then inhaling for Om. Namaste. Thank you all very much. It's been wonderful practice, trying to keep it fresh and different. So please comment on what you'd like to see more of. If you like, comments help the searchability for these YouTube videos. If you're watching on Facebook, consider checking out YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Likes, comments, shares, hugely appreciated. And if you have some extra money, then please send a donation. There's a link in the description of YouTube for a donation. If you don't have the money for that, you can send it to me later when you're doing well in the future, and or doing the liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing is a great contribution, which really helps me and my family out a lot. So thank you very much. Hope the practice was just what you needed. If you'd like to move and sweat a little more, we do vinyasa on Saturday. So Saturday, 10:30, we'll do vinyasa. I will see you then. And until then, I will say goodbye for now. All these videos are saved, by the way. So on a day I'm not doing a live stream, then just watch an older one and enjoy. I'll see you soon. Ciao.